Hello, my name is David McDonald, aka aSongScout on YouTube, and I've been making piano covers on this channel for over 9 years now. But in that near decade at this point, one thing I've never really discussed is the behind-the-scenes process for creating piano covers. And that is something that I've always wanted to do, but just never got around to. And then recently I came across a mini collaboration trend on YouTube where artists of different disciplines all create something off of the same starting point and then react to each other and see how they approached it differently. Starting with Jessica Kabisi bringing together other photographers to all shoot the same model, and then with Andrew Huang having other music producers creating a track from the same sample, and more recently with David Bruce bringing together composers to write instrumental music from the same set of themes. And as I watched these videos, especially the parts where the artists are reacting to each other, I was immediately reminded of my own experience watching other pianists' covers. Because while I'm making a cover, I don't listen to any other pianist versions because I want mine to be original and not influenced by anybody else. But as soon as I've uploaded my own cover to YouTube, I'll immediately go out and watch a ton of other interpretations of the same song, and it is fascinating to me, having just done a deep dive into those melodies and harmonies myself. And so I was inspired to borrow, or steal as Andrew and David Bruce have said, the collaboration idea and create one for pianists. So I reached out to 3 piano colleagues on YouTube from all over the world, and together the 4 of us all created a cover of the same song. Now what I chose for us to cover is a 1-minute excerpt from the middle and the end of Speechless, sung by Naomi Scott in the recent live-action Aladdin film. I chose this song both because it is new and popular, being the one song in the recent film that did not appear in the animated version, and also because I thought it had some really beautiful and catchy melodies and chord progressions to work with. So first you'll hear us explain a little bit about ourselves and the process for creating each cover, and then you'll get to hear us play it, and then you'll get to hear it again and see the sheet music at the same time, along with everybody else's reactions. So without further ado, let's begin.
Hi, my name is Michael Coughenour from the YouTube channel Vegan Pianist. I've been teaching piano for 37 years here where I live. I'm actually 70 years old. I originally started Vegan Pianist as an outlet for my original compositions, and it quickly branched off from there into all over the place. That's all I can say. I do lots of student pieces, I do jazz, I do classical, I do lots of video game, anime music. The reason I chose the handle Vegan Pianist is because I've been vegan for more than 40 years, and between playing piano for much more than 40 years and being vegan, they're the 2 things that have gone on the most time in my life. At any rate, it's not a diet channel, it's a music channel. I've been fascinated and mesmerized by the sound of the piano for as long as I can remember. I'm very grateful to David McDonald for offering this collaboration on this piece, Speechless. I liked the song right away when I heard it, and I was excited about making my own arrangement. The way I approach making an arrangement of a song is first I learn the melody and the chord changes. I don't listen to other versions of the song. I work with it to try and make my own take on it. I like the key that it's in, F sharp minor. It was fun arranging a version of it. My inspiration was probably more classical. I just listened to Naomi Scott singing it. David McDonald actually took piano from my colleague in the next room for many years. At this point, I'm very grateful that he offered me this chance to collaborate with the 4 pianists involved in this collaboration.
Already, yeah.
Added an extra measure at the beginning, nice. I love that pattern going down in the left hand. Ooh, those ornaments, nice. Ah, the suspended chord.
Tasty.
Oh, great choice to use a sixth there.
I really like how he built up the sound. That's beautiful.
Oh, something extra at the end.
So cool. Really soulful and personal arrangement from Michael. I loved it.
That was really nice. I definitely felt the classical vibes. I really did like the use of the sixth chords when making chords in the right hand. It definitely added complexity to the chorus instead of, just hearing all the notes of the straight triad when you're going from chord to chord. I love the left hand when it's going up and down and like those down turns in the first section. And the run at the end right before those final chords, that was really fun.
I really like that he started with thinner voice and how he built up the sound. Like to the ending of the chorus, it has a really thick sound with a very rich harmony on the left hand. And also I like the little embellishment on the right hand.
I think the thing that I loved the most about Michael's interpretation was how he put just the right amount of rubato in his playing. Like, for example, at the end, right before his beautiful arpeggio, slowing down to make a lot of room for the listener to breathe and in an otherwise quite straight and rhythmic piece.
Hello everyone, I'm Nikki. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to be here to share my music and also work with the other very wonderful pianists. Thank you so much, David, for inviting all of us and putting all of these together. Thank you. So on my channel, I do pop song covers, TV and movie soundtrack covers, Disney song covers, and so on. When it comes to arranging, I think the first thing I always do is to have the melodies and harmonies down. And then I'll just go play with it on my piano. At this point, I'll start thinking of ways to accompany my melodies with my left hand. And if anything good comes out, I'll just write it down on my sheet music. Although I don't have very specific plans for arranging, I do find a couple patterns that I often use. For more energetic songs, I would use more rhythmic patterns to keep the song energetic, like this rhythm is the key to the energy. And for the more lyrical songs, like this one, Speechless, I would use a lot more broken chords with passing tones, which I think it provides softer feelings and it supports the melodies at the same time. And when the chorus repeats the second or the third time, I would usually change the accompaniment patterns to a bigger and thicker texture. And sometimes I would also play the melody in a different range to lead the song to a peak. And yes, I use both of that in the full version of this song.
Starting with those little piano chords in the original.
Your left-hand harmonies are very beautiful right here. I really like the way you're harmonizing.
Ah, that C sharp minor chord in there. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That octave little bit in the right hand was fantastic.
I think maybe you and I approached the song in a somewhat similar fashion.
This is beautiful. That was a gorgeous arrangement.
It was very beautiful.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
There was such great chord movement in that one of subtly rearranging the structure of the chords to like guide the ear forward in the first verse. And then the right hand doing little ornamentations up high. That was really well balanced. His control was so good in that one too. Like you're never going to forte or fortissimo, but you didn't need to.
If I had to take only one thing from Nicky's beautiful arrangement, that should definitely be the dominant 7th chord she used at the end, just before the ending section that went like that. I don't know why it took me completely by surprise, and I think it worked so well in the context of a more complex piece with maybe more 9th chords here and there. So yeah, really, really good job. I loved that. I loved how she didn't put the final chord and stayed there in the upper register. That worked very well too. Hi everyone, my name is Nicolas. I'm a pianist from France. My work on YouTube right now revolves around arranging pieces from series, mostly Game of Thrones and Westworld. What I try to achieve with my work is being as close as possible to the original piece. That means structure, musicality, and basically the three main components of what makes music, which are harmony, melody, and rhythm. So I tried my best with David's ID, Speechless, and right from the start, I knew it was going to be a real challenge. I'll go as far as saying that arranging a piece like that with a vocal line can be much harder than reducing a whole orchestra score. The reason being the right hand. With your right hand, you have to play the vocal line, obviously, and you cannot do much else. You're a bit stuck and are not as free as you'd want to on the keyboard, at least without cheating. This is something that I love doing. I love exploring techniques, finding some exotic ways to play in order to keep the full harmony, like I said, and melodies, counter melodies. All right, I have an example right here for you that I'd like to show. Take a look at the middle part of the keyboard while I play those 2 or 3 measures from my version. All right. So if you notice, we have a beautiful descending melodic line in the middle that I play first with my right hand, then my left hand, then the 2 thumbs, while still playing the melodic line and the rhythm section. Alright, this is only a glimpse of what I put in the arrangement. In the end, I hope you like how it sounds, and if you know the original song, I hope you'll find elements that made you enjoy it in the first place. So yeah, hope you like my take on Speechless, and can't wait to see the other guy's version.
intense right off the bat.
Nicholas, I think you keep the forward drive of the rhythm more like the original.
Just even with a single note in the left hand, it's so thick.
I like that run.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Oh, that little moment where you got a little bit quiet, that was so good.
And I like how it gets so intense and then it just hangs.
The little C sharp and F sharp way up there. I love the little facial expression you do when you did. You're like,
That was amazing.
oh man, that's the kind of arrangement I love to play on, like, you know, a big bright piano and just like go for it.
Really nice also. So different than Nicky's, but really nice.
I really like how he plays his left hand to imitate the drums and bass. It's very percussive, really powerful, and with strong rhythm.
I heard so many different voices from the original track that were in there. There were a bunch of little things that like made it so big. Like during the chorus, those rolled tenths in the left hand. The left hand, when it's playing down low, even when it's just playing one note at a time, it's so rich, it's so good. Like those low notes can be so well utilized. So I generally like to start out my arrangements pretty simple and then continually add new chords, new complexities, new patterns to always keep it interesting and build up towards a climax. But I have to be careful not to make the arrangement too complex in the middle, otherwise I'm stuck trying to make an even more complex finale that will be impossible to play. So with the original excerpt being as short as it was, I just listened to it a couple dozen times to kind of roughly memorize it, and then I just played through it on the piano a bunch of times, figuring out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to add everything. And then I sat down and did a full transcription for the sheet music, playing the parts on the piano as I wrote to make sure I wasn't writing anything that I couldn't play. For me, it's kind of like all about a delicate balance of being faithful to the source material, making the parts more simple or more complex to fit the rising complexity throughout, and being harmonically creative on the piano, utilizing the piano's strengths. So for complexity, for example, I start out with a little run just to sort of get the viewer's ears' attention, and then I'm doing a very delicate beginning of the source material, initially pitched 1 octave up, and then I pitch it 2 octaves up and invert the root chords twice. The second inversion is a much lighter form because your root note isn't on the bottom. So it's still keeping all like the melody and the rhythmic structure, but it's just very light and soft. And then I add 2 extra beats as kind of a pause before we get into the lower octaves. As far as adding harmonic stuff, here are 2 spots. One is where I added a little chromatic octave bounce at the bottom in the climax, to add a little bit of more harmonic complexity, because the chord changes have been pretty straightforward up to this point. There haven't really been much in the way of accidentals in the piece yet. And then at the end, there's 2 piano chords that are very, very simple in the original, where it's like, where it's just like 2 notes there. So I added a couple extra notes to each time those play to have a bit more like unresolved tension, so your ear is really drawn towards that final resolving chord at the end. And hopefully it all turned out all right.
really like your left-hand run right there at the beginning. It's really nice.
Yeah, that extra beats.
You also keep the rhythmic propulsion, the drive, more like the original song.
That's really cool.
He did it again. Those left hands jumps, man, they are so hard to practice and are personally my #1 cause for ruining my takes on my pieces. So good job.
David, you also made it incredibly powerful there right before the end, and it was awesome.
I feel like lots of the times I listen to David's arrangements, I feel like his works is usually pretty orchestral with a single keyboard, and he creates a very full sound. And I also just like the crazy left hand. Lots of 16th note running through.
Yeah, what can I say? You almost made me fall off my chair with those extra 2 beats. Those last chords were so perfect. I love them.
I really appreciate everybody's work, and all of you three had inspired me to arrange songs in a different way. It's just really fun to listen to how different pianists can play the same song in such different ways, and all kinds of sounds and possibilities that piano can make. It's just amazing.
Good job, everyone. To be honest, I was quite scared that we were gonna end up with more or less the same arrangement, and that was not the case at all. Yeah, each one of us brought his personal style, his techniques, and an intention to the piece. To be honest, I don't know if it could have gone better in terms of diversity. Thank you, David, for the opportunity. I'm not used to this kind of format, but anyway, this was a real pleasure to be a part of that. Michael, Nikki, and David, good job again.
I want to say thank you again for including me in this. It's been really fun to take part in it and to hear how different everybody is with it. I always tell my students that the wonderful thing about music is that it's as individual as we are. Each one of us will be different the way we touch it and our ideas of how to do it. Anyway, thank you.
This was a long and difficult video to make for all of us, and I definitely now have a huge amount of respect for the previous groups of artists that made a video in this style. But emerging from it all in the end, oh my gosh, it was so enjoyably insightful to hear about Michael, Nikki, and Nicholas's creative workflow and thought process. As in the past, I'd only heard their final results. I wanted to give an extended thank you to all of them for all of the hard work they did over the past month, and I can't wait to watch what they upload next. If you enjoyed any of their performances, be sure to check out their channels. There will be links on the screen and in the video description below, and Nikki actually just uploaded a full version of her cover for Speechless, which was really cool. And also a special thank you to my patrons who helped make this video possible. Thank you. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.